but he kept it to himself. Creed wasn't law enforcement. He was hired to do a job and had no interest in questioning jurisdiction or getting involved in the pissing contests that local and federal officials often got into. "I can't think she'd run this far off," Sheriff Wiley said. He was talking about the young woman they were looking for, the reason they were out here searching. But now Creed realized the sheriff was starting to question his judgment too, even though the two of them had worked together plenty of times. Creed ignored both men as best he could and concentrated on Grace. He could hear her breathing getting more rapid. She started to hold her nose higher, and he tightened his grip on the leash. She had definitely entered a scent cone, but Creed had no idea if it was secondary or primary. All he could smell was the river, but that wasn't what had Grace's attention. "How long has she been gone?" Creed asked Sheriff Wiley. "Since the night before last." Creed had been told that Izzy Donner was 19, a recovering drug addict who was getting her life back on track. She'd enrolled in college part-time and had even been looking forward to a trip to Atlanta she had planned with friends. Creed still wasn't quite sure why her family had panicked. A couple nights out of touch didn't seem out of the ordinary for a teenager. "Tell me again why you think she ran off into the forest. Are you sure she wasn't taken against her will?" Seemed like a logical reason that a federal agent might be involved if the girl had been taken. The two men exchanged a glance. Creed suspected they were withholding information from him. "Why would it matter?" Tabor finally asked. "If your dog is any good, it should still be able to find her, right?" "It would matter because there'd be another person's scent." "We had a tip called in," Wiley admitted, but Tabor shot him a look and cut him off from saying anything else. Before Creed could push for more, Grace started tugging for him to hurry. Her breathing had increased, her nose and whiskers twitched. He knew she was headed for the river. "Slow down a bit, Grace," he told her. Slow down was something a handler didn't like telling his dog, but sometimes the drive could take over and send a dog barreling through dangerous terrain. He'd heard of working dogs scraping their pads raw, so focused and excited about finding the scent that would reward them. Grace kept pulling. Creed's long legs were moving fast to keep up. The tangle of vines threatened to trip him, while Grace skipped between them, jumping over fallen branches and straining at the end of her leash. He focused on keeping up with her and not letting go. Only now did Creed notice that Agent Tabor and Sheriff Wiley were trailing farther behind. He didn't glance back, but could hear their voices becoming more muffled, interspersed with some curses as they tried to navigate the prickly underbrush. Finally, Grace slowed down. Then she stopped. But the little dog was still frantically sniffing the air. Creed could see and hear the river 5 feet away. He watched Grace and waited. Suddenly, the dog looked up to find his eyes and stared at him. This was their signal. Creed knew the dog wasn't trying to determine what direction to go next, nor was she looking to him for instructions. Grace was telling him she had found their target, that she knew exactly where it was, but she didn't want to go any closer. Something was wrong. "What is it?" Sheriff Wiley asked while he and Tabor approached, trying to catch their breath and keep a safe distance. "I think she's in the water," Creed said. "What do you mean she's in the water?" Tabor asked, but Wiley understood. "Oh, crap." "Grace, stay," Creed told the dog and dropped the leash. He knew he didn't need the command. The dog was spooked, and it made Creed's stomach start to knot up. He maneuvered his way over the muddy clay of the riverbank, holding on to tree branches to keep from sliding. He didn't know that Wiley was close behind him until he heard the older man's breath catch at the same time that Creed saw the girl's body. Her eyes stared up, as if she were watching the clouds. The girl's windbreaker was still zipped up and had ballooned out, causing her upper body to float while the rest of her lay on the sandy bottom. This part of the Blackwater River was only about 3 feet deep. Though tea-colored, the water was clear, and even in the fading sunlight, Creed could see that the girl's pockets were weighted down. "Son of a bitch," he heard Wiley say from behind. "Looks like she loaded up her pockets with rocks and walked right into the river."